Marianne Williamson tweeted, Kyle Griffin of NBC News said, Elise Stefanik will not commit to certifying the 2024 election. Marianne Williamson said, this is insane. Let's break it down. What did Elise Stefanik actually say? She said, if it's constitutional, yes, I'll certify it, which is quite literally a commitment to certify the election.
Yep.
Because if it wasn't, then the purpose of her job is to not certify it. Marianne Williamson gets this fake story from Kyle Griffin of NBC. He's lying, misleading through omission to trick people like Marianne Williamson who believes it. Marianne Williamson is I suppose you'd call this the ignorance of evil. We all here like Marianne because she's a nice person and she's a good moral person, but she believes wrong things. And we believe that if we actually just talked to her, she'd understand. And she did when she came on the show. When we showed her the creepy books and everything, she's like, these things are wrong. And we're like, because you're a good person. We know you are. But if she believes NBC, she lives in a world of lies. And so this is what we end up dealing with in the culture war. The left is a whole bunch of really, really dumb people. And so when it comes to trying to solve our problems, you have disgusting, evil people like Oliver Darcy, like Kyle Griffin. And then you're like, how do we actually make the world a better place when you have figurative or literal demons lying to stupid people to trick them into harming themselves?
Well, I mean, everything you hear on the mainstream media from NBC is fake. And I think people are starting to realize that, though, Tim, don't you think? Or do you think people are still kind of under that brainwash?
I think a lot of people are starting to wake up to it, and I think programs like this and the shift in how we consume media is helping change this. Podcasts are taking over. But this is the big challenge we have right now. There would be no question of the 2024 election if we didn't have NBC News and CNN and MSNBC lying about everything.
Yeah.
These people they're evil. It's not a question. It's malicious evil.
You and I were actually talking about this earlier today at lunch. It would basically be like if a health inspector was asked, will you pass this restaurant? And they're like, I mean, if
no.
It's healthy.
It's someone comes to you and says, will building inspector, will you commit to certifying my building that I will build next year? Like, what do you know? I have to check to see it was built right.
Yeah.
If it's up to code, then yeah.
And then I report building inspector will not commit to certifying the building. It's
Exactly.
like, well, you didn't build it yet.
So he'd actually be really bad at his job if he did commit to certifying it before seeing it.
Yep. That's where we're currently at. Democrats are shocked first at a fake story. NBC News is the most captured institution in the media apparatus.
You think worse than CNN?
Absolutely.
Wow.
NBC
Worse than ABC Disney?
Yes, no question. The NBC News team, like Ben Collins, they fabricate the most egregious things imaginable as a statement of fact. They put out fabricated narratives. Come at me, bro. Statement of fact. They do it, and I believe they do it intentionally. I'd love to get Discovery on these guys. And it's remarkable. They give these people awards. Look, Elise Stefanik was asked, would she certify the election? She goes, yeah, if it's constitutional, of course. Yes. She said yes. And what does NBC News report? She will not commit to certifying the election. That's a lie. That's just fake. They fabricated that. And then Marianne Williamson believes it. And she's running for president and polling in some of the latest polls at 13%. It's amazing, isn't it?
The same media company, I mean, the only reason I would say ABC is, you saw that video where they were trying to bring up Jeffrey Epstein years ago, and then they killed that story.
Right, but whether or not, I think NBC News as a whole is like a fake news machine.
Well, Fox News, I think Tucker Carlson ran into this. Like, you think, oh, this is a conservative media company, but there's a lot of liberal people that work in there that are just in Hollywood, that are in show business. I mean, like, do you trust any of the political biases of any of these networks? I mean, I really don't. Like, I don't even
None of them.
Yeah, I don't think Fox News
but
is very
NBC News
conservative.
is a king of the castle, man.
Yeah, because I guess the biggest.
I mean, look, NBC News, they did this thing once where some activists wrote a fake story about me. NBC News then cited it in an article. Then a bunch of entertainment outlets quoted NBC News. NBC News then removed the citation. creating a dead loop of a bunch of entertainment news organizations citing each other with no actual source for where the claim came from.
The original thing was like a blog or something. Is that they decided?
Yeah, it was a blog.
Just something. Yeah,
it was some guy's blog. Yeah. And then when I contacted one of these entertainment outlets saying, "Hey, this is a fake story. I want a correction," they say, "Take it up with insert other outlet," because they're the ones who are making the claim. Then I went to that. So outlet 1 says, "Talk to outlet 2." I go to outlet 2 and they go, "Hey, look, we're citing outlet 3." I went to outlet 3 and it goes, "Hey, look, we're citing outlet 1." So if it was just 2 outlets and they were claiming each other, I could point out, you guys are just citing each other. With 3 outlets, they said, "I don't know what NBC is doing. We're citing this website." And then I said, "Yeah, but that website's citing NBC." And they were like, "I don't know anything about that. Take it up with them. You can't sue me for defamation because it's already in the public sphere. And we believe that what's reported by insert outlet is correct." So none of them will take it down. That's NBC News. These people are despicable evil. They know they're lying. And they love playing this game where they go online and they go, "Trump supporters are lying." And then when you stare them in the face and talk to them and say, "Here's the actual proof and report that you lied," they smile and say, "Good luck." Evil people, man.
I don't disagree. And then I see that on Wikipedia too, where like somebody will have some weird Wikipedia thing and it'll be cited to some random blog. You're like, how does that?
Well, this is, they call it, it was XKCD comic, called it cytogenesis, where they say the example, actually, let me pull up cytogenesis. It's really, really great. You'll understand how we are in a very serious, check it out. Where citations come from. Cytogenesis, step 1. Through a convoluted process, a user's brain generates facts. These are typed into Wikipedia. The scroll lock key was designed by future Energy Secretary Stephen Chu in a college project. Somebody make something up. A rushed writer checks Wikipedia for a summary of their subject. U.S. Energy Secretary Stephen Chu, Nobel Prize winner and creator of the ubiquitous scroll lock key, testified before Congress today. Surprised readers check Wikipedia, see the claim, and flag it for review. A passing editor finds the piece and adds it as a citation. Google is your friend, people. Now that other writers have a real source, they repeat the fact. The simple version is, it's not just about Wikipedia. Someone will fabricate a story in the corporate press on purpose. Remember the big scandal? There's been a bunch. That one guy who worked for Bild in Germany was just making a bunch of things up and they caught him. Someone will make up something, or a better example, Kyle Griffin will tweet, Elise Stefanik will not commit to certifying the election. That's a fake story. That's fabricated by Kyle Griffin. He made that up. Someone like Marianne Williamson will see this and say, this is insane. And then, I don't know, insert CNN or any other news outlet will write a story saying, Marianne Williamson slams Elise Stefanik, saying it is insane that she refuses to certify the election. They will then say, NBC News reported Elise Stefanik says she will not certify the 2024 election. Mm-hmm. Something that never happened. Then every other corporate outlet will just rewrite what CNN wrote, citing CNN. If CNN figures out the mistake and they get rid of it, all these news outlets will just insert a different source and create another loop of fake news.
This happens in academia too. I can't remember who coined this term, but they refer to it as idea laundering.
Yep.
Yeah, it makes sense.
You just
and part of it is
just say anything, and then you get some citations. A couple people cite you, and then people cite them.
And the language is manipulative, right? So if I said, if you describe Seamus as, a thought criminal, and then I said, Seamus, who has been described in the past as a thought criminal, I am correct. You have described him as a thought criminal, but is he actually, or has he just been described that way?
I mean,
and it becomes this echo chamber of worsening criticism of Seamus, who obviously is the worst ever, but
this is the game they play because the corporate press loves to add descriptors to people for no reason.
That's right.
So, they'll say Donald Trump, or like Julian Assange. He'll be in the news because he released a document. They'll say Julian Assange, accused rapist and blah, blah, blah. Even though it's
not relevant to the story.
but not true either. The issue is, what'll happen is, how many people have accused Bill Clinton of being a pedophile?
Everybody.
I mean, millions, right?
Yeah.
So if you were to report that in a story, Bill Clinton, an accused pedophile, is that a false statement of fact? Absolutely not. He's been accused by a lot of people of being a pedophile. And this is the game that the corporate press plays.
Well, speaking of pedophile, and I wanted to,
You have an aside from
a
pedophile?
little bit I do, because, a lot of people want to give Donald Trump credit for saying the fake news, but the first person to say fake news, and Tim, I'll kind of end on this conspiracy. My favorite conspiracy of them all, you asked me what my top one is. I believe Michael Jackson was innocent, only because he was, he was the first person to say that the news is fake. And then on top of that, he was investigated by the FBI for 19 years. And then Wade Robinson and James Safechuck, the two guys that made the documentary Leaving Neverland, Wade Robinson actually testified on his behalf twice in front of California's top prosecutor and said that nothing happened. And then James Safechuck said that he was, sexually assaulted inside the train station. In the year that he said it, the architect hadn't even drawn the plans. So my point is, there's a lot of weird inconsistencies with the Michael Jackson situation.
Yo, look at the
And he's the
Kavanaugh
first
stuff.
one to say fake news. So
It is very obvious that the left is willing to lie about anything if it advances their goals. Thanks for watching this clip from the Timcast IRL podcast. Hang out with us live Monday through Friday at 8 p.m. and become a member over at timcast.com for uncensored, members-only shows exclusive. Thanks for hanging out, and we'll see you all next time.